Joining us now for more is Dave Aronberg, the former state attorney for Palm Beach County. Thank you for joining us. So in that letter just mentioned in Kana Whitworth's story there, prosecutors said that the defense approached the state last week to ask for a plea deal offer. What might have led to this finally happening, especially so close to the trial?
Well, Lindsay, it was definitely a victory for the defense because there was a good chance that Kohberger was going to get the death penalty. And I'm a bit surprised that this deal was entered into, especially when you saw the reaction from the Gonzalez family, who were outraged by it. They seem to be blindsided themselves by it. That's never a good look for prosecutors. So as far as what caused it, well, the judge ruled against the defense on a couple of key motions. They didn't let the defense have an additional delay. So that was a big deal. I think the defense said, probably thought that they couldn't go to trial this quickly. And also, they didn't allow the defense to have a third-party culprit defense, which means to point the finger at some unknown real killer, which was always going to be bogus. But why did the prosecution enter into it? Perhaps that they've spoken to other victims' families and thought that they supported it. Perhaps they saw a trial that was going to last for months and decided just to get what they could. But I just think that it's not full justice, because if anyone deserves a death penalty, it's this guy.
And how does the prosecution typically go about planning these plea deal offers and considering aspects like whether to take the death penalty off the table?
Well, generally, they talk to the families, and the families would say what they want. Now, if 3 out of the 4 families, or most of them, supported this deal, then that's one thing. But the fact that the Gonzalez family was blindsided by it really is troubling. And as far as other questions, other considerations, well, they would say, how long is the trial? What are the chances at trial? Do we want to put the witnesses and the victims' families through a trial? There's all these considerations, but I see it as a former prosecutor that they got this guy dead to rights. They had his DNA on the scene. They have an eyewitness on the scene that said, yeah, the killer looks like that guy. They have the car that he drove. They have his phone records. They had him. And I think they would have gotten the death penalty. So I'm not sure why they entered into this deal. I'm surprised too, and I'm hoping we'll get answers.
Do families generally want to avoid trial?
Generally, they do, because in many cases they get put through the ringer yet again. Now, one thing that could be good is that because of this plea deal, I would expect that Kohberger is required to admit everything and to explain things and to perhaps talk about what happened that night. Evidence and information the families would never have received if he just clammed up and went to trial. So maybe that's a good thing. But you know, we don't know. This is early. We don't know what's part of the plea deal, except that the death penalty is taken off the table. So in that sense, it's a win for the defense.
Dave Aronberg, our thanks to you. Really appreciate your time and insight.